Hello everybody, and I'm back with a race guide this week after being at the Totals 24-hour Spa. Coincidence that there's some total banners there on this daily race. Race didn't go as planned for us in real life. We didn't make it past 2:30 a.m. ish. We decided to retire the car. We lost so many laps in the second hour because of ABS failure, and then when one of my co-drivers was punted into the gravel later in the race, we decided it was not worth to continue because we couldn't win the championship or the race itself. So anyway, I'm actually quite happy to be back here at on Gran Turismo, and when I got back yesterday, I decided to give the daily race a go, which is in the LMP1 cars. Pretty cool. And here I'm in the Audi. Should we go to the... which view should we go to? We'll go to this view for a bit. I'm in the Audi, so it's a bit of a diesel gate. However, I did try the Porsche and also the Alpine, which was getting pretty high up the leaderboards in the qualifyings. But I think in the end of the day, the Audi is the best race car that you can use here. Although I have seen some people win with the Toyota. So first of all, I didn't win this race. I wanted to show the effect of using the wrong strategy, as I do believe that the quickest strategy around here is actually not to do a pit stop, but in the previous races I was doing a pit stop. So when I got into the Audi at the end of the day, I decided to give that a shot as well, and didn't realize that a no stopper was possible. It is quite close though. There's a 5-second difference, 5-ish seconds. So it's not clear which one is the right one until you try it, so I thought I'd give you guys a heads up when doing this race. So I think if you're going to do a no-stop, the best thing to do is you have to have a wheel. I don't think you can achieve a no-stopper with a remote. So make sure that for those of you who have a remote, you're going to have to drive as fast as you can and do a one-stop race. Okay, so here we are in second place. Some pretty fast guys around me. Took me a while to get a good qualifying, and just the previous race I was a bit too aggressive with other drivers. Dirty Dave was out in full force. I'm thinking of renaming him Dangerous Dave, because if you're around him you are in danger. And I got a couple of penalties, and apologies to all of the people that didn't punt off the track, but maybe punted a bit too aggressively. So in this race I wanted to have quite a clean one, and just try and stick with the leader here, because in the previous races he was the one who was doing all the winning. So I was pretty happy to be close to him and see what I could learn. And just generally there was a lot of fuel saving going on here. This is a very long race. 18 minutes for Gran Turismo is an eternity, and just wanted to see what I could learn from him, and see if I could catch a nice slipstream, fuel save a little bit, lift and coast as much as I could. My connection wasn't so great, so that's why the cars around me are moving around so much. It wasn't that they were bad drivers, it was that I had a bad connection. Lifting through here, because I'm right up in the slipstream. Actually, you know what, I don't like this view, kids, because you can't see anything in this game when you use this view, and that's why I never use it. Okay, so let's go back to the classic, bumper cam. This is the only game in the world where the bumper cam is actually useful. In all of the other games they don't seem to get the perspective right, but I think that in Gran Turismo all they do is they remove the dashboard, and since I have a steering wheel right in front of me, a real life one, I don't need to go into the dashboard cam to get the real effects. Plus, if you saw how small my screen is anyway, you'd think, how the hell does this guy race in the first place? Okay, so here we are sitting behind VLX Crazy John. A little bit of a nudge there going down the inside. My intention actually wasn't to overtake there, but he ran a little bit wide, and when I took my regular line I couldn't slow down in time, so I decided to go for it. Racing softs for this race. I'm now in the lead with on lap 3 out of 11, so 8 laps to go including this one, and just trying my best to be as smooth as possible, because tyre wear, it's not aggressive. These cars tend to look after their tyres pretty well. Could be related to the four-wheel drive, but you do definitely feel the tyre wear at the end of the stint or the race. It comes in the form of understeer. So you have to be as smooth as you can. You want to look after the front as much as you can in this race. So that means braking in a straight line, turning in as smoothly as you can, and waiting as long as possible to get on the power. So you want to wait until the car's in a straight line as best as possible. It's not realistic to do that for every corner, but just as much as you can, you want to straighten the wheel out before you get on the power so that you can minimize front tire wear. This track is fast and flowing. I did a track out in this 2 weeks ago. Really do enjoy Circuit Maggiore, Autodromo Maggiore, sorry. Reminds me a lot of Mugello, and even the setting. The setting actually reminds me a lot of Cape Town, Franschhoek. So here we are. 39s are not a bit on the slow end. You want to actually hover to win these races against the top guys. You want to be in the mid to low 38s or even high 37s. Alternatively, you can play like Crazy John, who I later realized was just slipstreaming me the whole time, playing it patient. And just if you're going to go for the no stopper, sit behind the leader in P2 and just wait. Just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. Go at their pace, slipstream them as much as you can, short shift, lift and coast, do all the necessary moves so that you can save as much fuel and tires as possible for the last 5 laps of this race, where all your hard work that you do at the beginning of the race is going to come forth, and all the patience that you have. Alternatively, if you're on the strategy that I am, which is to do a one-stopper, you're going to have to lead from the front, push as much as you can, while saving fuel. So the whole reason you're going to be stopping is if you didn't save enough fuel or you use too much tires. And then come the last 5 laps of the race, you can push like crazy, getting into the lower 38s and 37s if possible, to try and catch the guys who are going for the no stopper. So it's a trade-off. It's not clear. You're going to have to be a pretty good driver to do the no stopper. But just so you know that when you do a pit stop, you're going to lose 15 seconds there, and you're going to have only 5 laps to make that up. Luckily for you, the opportunity comes in that the drop-off on the racing soft tire for the leaders is going to be so bad that there is a small chance you could catch them. You just need smooth laps. Staying on the yellow there to get as much grip as you can. If you get on the power too early on the exit of that right-hander, you're going to get chronic understeer, you're going to abuse those front tires. So run straight lines, as straight a line as possible on the exit. Same here, careful to get the penalties there. I think I got one in this race. I think on the second last lap I got a penalty. And then this corner here is super technical, flow in. You want to get on the power as soon as you can there as well, but the front tires are going to push you wide, so you have to make sure that your entry line is perfect. Make sure that when you break over the crest with this left-hander, you're already turning in. If you turn in after the crest, you're going to understeer and miss the apex. Critical section of the track, this flowing section here, because you're carrying this straight line speed all the way down to the hairpin. So whenever you lift off the power going through those S-bends, it means your straight is shorter and shorter. The earlier you get on the power, your straight is longer. Don't take the hairpin like that. You want to get closer and use the apex wherever you can. Here, getting quite a big nudge because I missed the apex. My regen was not as efficient, and Crazy John went for a bit of a crazy move there. There was no move to go there, so in real life he wouldn't have done that. He would have rolled off. But this is a video game, so you know we all go for those crazy moves. Anyway, honestly, no problem with that move at all. Just an observation. I probably would have tried the same thing, who knows. Final corner is quite fun. I can imagine in real life that's a real neck ripper. So yeah, you'd have to have quite a thick neck to do an endurance race around here in an LMP1 car, that's for sure. Turn 1, maximize the curb. Turn 2, again, so you see how tight I stay through the right-hander. It's just so I can try and get the car pointed as straight as possible on the exit. So rather go slow in and then fast out. And then again, avoiding track limits here. Okay, so the guy behind me, he's just waiting. Okay, there's the penalty that I spoke of. We're already on lap 6. This should technically be my pit lap. I thought the whole time that Crazy John was also pitting because I figured he must be fuel saving as well, and just waiting for the right moment to push on the out lap of the pit stop. So I honestly thought that he was just doing what I was doing, which was going to do a pit stop now. Plus, I had the slowdown penalty, which is not actually that severe. Half a second is a nothing. I shouldn't have protected here, but you know, now knowing what I know and what I recommend to you guys, just let the guy go, because you have to worry about your own strategy in your own race. Heading through the high-speed sort of uphill S-bends. When you do this track in reverse, that section is really fun and difficult, super technical. This part here reminds me of Paul Ricard, turn 11, Le Bousset. It's a double right, you brake and turn it at the same time. It's almost exactly the same profile as there's that corner there, same technique, same lines. So a little bit of real world experience being brought back to the simulator and vice versa. Okay, so I think I'm going to bomb into the pits now. Crazy John, he dummied me there, so I thought he was also going into the pits, and he ended up going for another lap. So I thought at this point, I was like, oh no, have I been caught out here? Should I have tried a nose stopper? But because this was the first time I was leading a race overall in this combination, I figured that it must be a one-stop race. Anyway, so now I'm starting to realize, it's starting to dawn on me that I'm in a bit of trouble, because I'm 15 seconds behind and I need to catch these guys. Luckily for me, V Christian 94 and VLX Crazy John, they're actually pretty close if you look at the track map, and they're racing each other. So hopefully at some point they can slow each other down a little bit and give me a chance to catch up. Sadly for David Perel, Dirty Dave, his outlap is a bad one. He misses every apex, as you'll see here. And okay, I managed to hit that apex, I missed that apex, and I missed that apex. So I'm going to use the cold tire excuse. I don't even know if it's cold tires. I don't think Gran Turismo uses cold tire, hot tire thing. I think it's more to do with the when you make a tire, there's a film on top of it that you have to sort of get rid of, and it's especially obvious in karting. It's that shiny layer that you see in Formula 1. And it just takes 1 or 2 corners to get rid of that, whether your tires are hot or not. That sort of slidey feeling comes into play in real life as well. And that's sort of what I think that's what is going on here with Gran Turismo. I'm not sure it's related to tire temperature. Okay, so now we really got to push. We got 5 laps, 4 laps including this one. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 laps including this one to try and catch these guys. 15 seconds away, so I'd have to catch them at 3 seconds a lap. Probably not going to happen unless I got into the 37s. I managed to do 37s in the previous race in the last 5 laps, but it wasn't so easy. I'm also going to have to overtake Alex. I don't know how to say his name. I'm going to have to take Alex over here. And I think I just managed to avoid the track limits. It's really not clear where the track limits are in that corner, to be honest with you. But just keep it simple and don't do what I just did here, which is go off the track. It's pretty simple. So I was a little bit flustered, as you can see. Otherwise I would have driven better. But I want to show you the real stuff. You know, I could easily spend another 2-3 hours here waiting for the perfect race, and I'm pretty sure I could get one where I hit every apex and show off about how good I am as a driver. But in simulators I do make a lot of mistakes. So in this race here, even though we were leading the race and against some pretty decent competition, I managed to throw it away with the wrong strategy. But more importantly, I think these first 2 laps, the out laps and the next flying lap, were not clean enough to stand a chance. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I come up 5 seconds short, and I think if I got these 2 laps right, and I think I would have caught the slipstream on the final lap of the leaders and maybe have had a chance to overtake them. In terms of brake balance and those types of things, yeah, I go for a slipstream and I think I go around the outside. Okay, so braking at the shadow, boom, boom, boom. Whoa! Get pushed a little bit there. It's possible I closed the door, but he was also on older tires, and he returns the favor. Fair enough. With older tires, you're not going to be able to control the slide so much going into the corners, so I'd kind of tried to anticipate that slide that when he went into me, but it wasn't enough. Anyway, pushing ahead. I think that critical moment there, the 39.5 on the second flying lap, and the battle to overtake third place, on this second flying lap is what cost me an opportunity to catch the guys in front. They were fighting each other, and that gave me a small window to win with a one-stop race. But at the end of the day, if you don't deliver on those key outlaps, you're not going to win these things. You need to be perfect in every way. So 1.3 seconds down with new tires on this flying lap, it's not good enough. Maybe if I did 1 minute 38s in a row, I would have had a better chance, but that is how it goes. It's also, I really enjoy these daily races where it's a mixture. It's not so clear whether the one stopper or the no stopper is gonna help. And I'm in the minority where I do like fuel saving. I think that it adds a little bit of an element. It negates some of the BOP that some of these cars have, so it neutralizes some of the performance elements a little bit. And you can see in Formula E, for example, and I know a lot of you don't like Formula E, but I love it. Energy saving is a good antidote to field spread, because what's the point of running away with the race when you know that you're going to have to use that energy more efficiently later? So it's better to stay close at the beginning. So that sort of close racing is actually encouraged by the energy saving. I just wanted to also add that the qualifying in this race is really important. You're not going to have fun if you're starting around 10th, because these cars are so difficult to control in close combat at high speed that there are going to be guys who are going to knock you off there. You're going to land up in the gravel a few times. So spend the time as much as you can to focus on qualifying. I'd rather spend an hour doing qualifying, get as close to a 36 as you can, than battle it out from 10th place in the race. You're going to hate life. You're going to get sportsmanship ranking penalties. You're going to lose driver ranking points, and it's not worth the frustration. Because if you do this race right, if you spend the time in qualifying and get all of that sorted out, then this race is really fun to do. But if you're going to start below the top 10, you're just going to be super frustrated. Okay, this lap is proving to be much better. That was the best I'd gotten, this double right-hander. Flowing in as fast as you can in third gear. And I was using the revs as much as I can because I had enough fuel for these last 5 laps to push like crazy. Third gear going into the left-hander, then short shift to fourth, using the sort of Gran Turismo gear change, I want to say hack. Really helps with rotating the car. If you did that in real life, you'd lose the gearbox, but this is one of the sort of hacks of this game, and all simulators have their physics hacks, by the way. There is none that I've come across which is perfect, and once you understand those physics hacks, you can actually start to exploit them to your own advantage. And it's the same for everybody. Everyone can use these hacks as well, so it's not such a big deal. Just get used to it. So what is that physics hack I'm talking about? It's basically, let's say you have to go into a third gear corner. If you quickly bang the car into second gear, the sort of last phase of braking, it's like tapping the handbrake. It gives you a little bit of rotation, and then you short shift back up to the right gear for the acceleration, and you exit the corner in the best possible way. You know, in Formula 1, Felipe Massa was actually pretty good at doing that in the Williams. So he'd always go into the corner 1 gear lower than he should have, and then as he got to the apex, he'd shift up. So obviously they had much more robust gearboxes there, and their seamless shift software was able to compensate for that. But if you do that in a Ferrari 48 GT3, you're not going to... the car won't let you do that, basically. If your foot is off the accelerator, you cannot gear up, and if your foot is on the accelerator, you cannot gear down. So it's a protection. Okay, so heading into the final corner here. Didn't quite make it, finished third. I was a little bit frustrated, but I also enjoyed it and felt that I could teach, or I could share something here and sort of help you guys improve your daily races. I hope you found this useful. Try the no stopper, see if you can get the tires to last. Otherwise, push like crazy on the one stopper. Hope you enjoyed this video. Good to be back. We'll be posting a little bit more frequently now that I'm back from Spa 24. And if you liked it, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, share, do whatever you can. Also, thank you to my Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/David Perel. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.